What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And together, we are speaking the language of bromance. And today, Shawn is going to try to get me intoxicated. But the joke's on you because this vodka doesn't look like vodka. It looks like water. So, haha, you got fooled.
Well, I had gone out and bought a new card game, and it's called Truth or Drink. And basically, it is just questions that you ask friends around a table. And the idea is if you don't want to answer the question, you're like, that's too personal. I'm going to take a little sip of my drink.
Oh, okay.
You do that.
Okay.
Or the other, I'm not going to ask both of these, but the other part of this rule is that basically it's kind of like that apples to apples game. I don't know if you ever played that.
You know what? I have been goaded into trying to play apples to apples, but I never actually played apples to apples.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, the idea is that like somebody puts out a thing, it'll be like, middle-aged women, and you have a card, you have 10 cards, and you have to pick what you think's, what would the person that's the dealer would choose as the best card put down.
Okay.
And this works kind of similar because you'd pick two people to ask a question to. One person gets one question, the other person gets the other. And if they don't want to answer it, they have to drink. But then if both do answer it, the dealer picks who they thought did the best answer, and the other person has to drink. But for this, it's kind of like back in the day in episode 200, we did Ask a Bro. So that's kind of what I'm going with here. These are just kind of questions that...
Is there a way we can make this interactive?
In what way?
Like, is there a way we can, okay, we're going to pause here for a second, and then everybody that's listening... Go get yourself some boozy booze, and then you come and you sit down, and then you answer questions. But see, they're just it's gonna be weird because like somebody's wife was gonna walk into a guy sitting there like huddled over his phone with a bottle of hooch sitting next to him, and he's like,
"Babe, every time
Aaron
I answer,
Burr, gulp gulp,
I have to pick which one answered the worst, and then I drink." Oh, Richard this time. Gulp, gulp. Oh, Shawn this time. Gulp, gulp. It's like, wouldn't it make more sense just to pick one and go with that? Who you tell me my business? I got a question for you. Where's the beef? All right, so first question, Richard. So I kind of mentioned that you have this started out. So there are 4 types of questions. There's happy hour.
Okay.
On the rocks.
Okay.
Extra dirty. And last call. So happy hour is kind of like you're getting into it. You're starting out. On the rocks kind of get a little bit more questionable.
Okay.
Extra dirty is exactly what it is. It's extra dirty. And last call is what you would do when you're super drunk and you want to start a fight.
Okay.
Because I didn't pick any of them specifically, but a lot of the last call ones are like, so have you ever cheated on me?
Oh, nice. Nice.
Why are you drinking?
Right. So here's the interactive part. Want everybody to go get yourself some hooch and go get a partner. Doesn't have to be your partner, but you got to have I guess it's best if you have someone with you, and then Shawn will ask a question, and then you can hear us bullshit for a second. But before you get to the next question, then you pause it and then you answer the question.
There you go. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, so you get with your significant other, you're like, have you ever cheated on me? Answer the question. If you don't want to, take a drink.
Sweetie, I don't think that's what they asked on the show. Shut up and listen.
Who's Bob? All right, so first question, Richard. What board game are you positive
Wait, this is a happy hour question?
Yes, this is the happy hour question.
Okay, so
so I'm sorry. I flipped them, so we'll do happy hour. I'll now announce them, too, because there's more happy hour. But, yeah, this is a happy hour question.
Okay. So the question is, what board game
are you positive you could destroy me at?
Monopoly.
Yeah, Monopoly, I get bored really quick.
I would crush you at Monopoly. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why I'll crush you at Monopoly. Because you, sir, do not possess the instinct that you need in order to play Monopoly. And that instinct, Shawn, is the killer instinct.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Monopoly is what caused my first divorce.
We both know that's not true.
It has caused many divorces, but I'm sure that wasn't the reason for yours. I would probably say the game Payday.
I remember Payday.
Payday was always fun.
I played it when I was really little.
Game of Life or Payday. Yeah,
that's why I didn't know. Like, I was young and fanciful and didn't have a care in the world about things like money or whatever. Game of Life. I think I could do well at.
Game of Life would be good. I think that'd be the one where it'd be 50-50. But Monopoly, yeah, I think you could probably take me. The one time I haven't played Monopoly a bunch, but the one time I played it, there was some stupid rule where like if you landed on
free parking. Is it the one? There's the house rule where all the tax money goes in the middle, and then if you land on free parking, you get that whole pot.
Yeah, that was it. And I was like, this is kind of a dumb rule. It's like, well, that's how I've always played it. I'm like, all right, fine. I landed on it like 5 times. Like, this game's stupid. I'm like, well, I didn't really even want to play.
No, see, Shawn, here's what you do. The trick is that you get your properties, and once you get properties, all you do is build houses.
To up that rent?
To up the rent. And also there's only so many houses in the box. And once you've placed all the houses, then the other person can't buy more houses.
Oh, and then it's like you have a monopoly.
Right. And see, and my point is that you are not cunning enough or cruel-hearted enough to do that to me. Well, however, I am cruel enough to do that to you.
Yeah, and Monopoly is a game like anytime anybody
you agree to that like, quite handedly.
Let's play Monopoly, and I'll be like, let's don't, because I value our friendship. All right, question number 2. All right, yeah, pause. Ask your significant other. If you're able to come back, welcome back.
If you're able to come back.
Next
Fuck
question.
You, I kill you with Monopoly.
Candyland's mine, bitch. On the rocks question. So, describe the first time we met. What was your honest first impression of me?
What was my honest first impression? You were young.
I mean, you were young. You were what, 24?
Yeah, but you were younger, so No,
I guess that's. How old were you?
I would have
been 18.
No. Yeah, you were 18, so I was 21. Oh,
okay. Which at that time, like, that's a big age range. 21 and 18.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it was a very, like, I'm sure that my opinion was very, like, oh, look at this scrappy young boy right here. Has no idea about the world ahead of him and the horrible things that are going to befall him. He's probably going to start a podcast with some fucking jagoff.
I don't even know what that is. This is like the guy that records himself all alone like he's on a radio show.
What idiot would sign up to do that with him? I don't know. I probably wouldn't listen.
My first impression would have been you had just come back from training. And I remember they're like, oh, yeah, we had to cut his hair because his hair was too long.
Oh, yeah.
And all this weird stuff about like, oh, he's going to be the new manager. And they were like doing new foods and you were like jumping in all like suave debonair, like, oh, well, actually, that takes 6 cups of this and 4 fourths of this. I was like, this smug motherfucker.
Yeah.
But no, you knew your shit and everything. And it was, I don't know if I really dealt with that many managers before. And so I was still just trying to get.
Well, how many jobs did you have prior to that one?
That was only my second job.
Okay.
So like the grocery store I worked at, there was the like store manager, then like 2 or 3 kind of sub managers.
Yeah.
But there was no real like separation of work. It was all kind of the same. So like I think when you were promoted, I was still trying to get my feet like under me. And I think by the time I had everything figured out and was kind of running, that's when I think you started just doing like strictly like closing the store. And then we kind of like stumbled on each other. So
yeah,
it was kind of like at a far for a while. And then like with the story we told before when we first met was kind of like, oh, you should check out this movie. And that whole kind of led to where we are today.
That's yeah. So again, like, I hear you talking about a movie and I'm like, I'm going to drop some fucking knowledge. I'm gonna blow this kid's mind. And I was like, Last House on the Left. And he was like, what? And I said, listen there, sport. Last
I
house on
think
the
you called me
left.
son. You're like, listen here, son.
Yeah.
Don't walk away from me when I'm talking to you, son.
Yeah. And then I started taking my belt off.
Yeah. It's like, what are you gonna do with that? You're like, have you ever heard of erotic asphyxiation? I'm like, no, what's that? Well, you need a spotter. Do you want to be my friend?
Best friends ever since.
You save a buddy from almost hanging himself 7 times in a month. You become close friends.
Never learned how to say no.
I think it's weird too. I think if like we had met like out like at a bar kind of thing, it might be a more interesting like what we thought of each other, but it was definitely more of a work scenario. Like I was still just trying to figure out people's names.
Right.
All right. So let's go to an extra dirty question.
Whoa, we're skipping right ahead.
Yeah, I kind of split them up because it'd be weird to get like to the end to be like 16 like weird masturbation questions. So I figured I'd sprinkle them in.
Oh.
So
sounds like my wedding night.
If you can abstain from sex and masturbation for 1 full year, you will win $27,000 in a nice used car. Would you make it?
No, it's not worth it.
This is kind of like the Seinfeld episode.
Not worth it.
I mean,
27,000?
That's not a ton of money.
No, it's not.
It's a ton of money, but we're saying cash free and a car, a nice used car.
I mean,
would you give it a shot?
I'd probably give it a shot.
Like, it's not like if you lose, you have to give $27,000.
Right? God, I hope not.
Yeah. Day one. Oh, I thought it started tomorrow. I'd give it a shot. I probably
2 weeks later, I'm on the street.
Yeah. I didn't even have a used car, and they said they wanted a nice one. Like I said, I'd give it a shot. What do you think you can make? Like realistically, if you had to give the college try, how long do you think you could go?
I would say at least I could do at least 3 months.
I mean, if you do 3 months, couldn't you just do the rest? Because it's always that first 2 weeks. Like the first week, it's kind of like quitting smoking, and you're so angry and pissed at everything. And
no, see, that's different because I feel like this would be something that would get worse as time went on. Like you quit smoking, like for the first 2 weeks, you're pissed off and angry, and then after that, everything's fine because your body has kind of regulated itself. With this is something that is just gonna get worse and worse, and like that gnawing feeling is just gonna get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, but I think there's an end to it. I mean, I bet too, like after like 3 months, you're like, oh yeah, it's been 3 months and I've accomplished all these great things. I've composed.
Write the next great American novel.
I'm surprised you said 3 months. I was probably going to say like 3 weeks. And too, it just depends on like how the wife plays it. Because if she's like, oh yeah, sure.
Oh, I'd have to live by myself.
No, I mean, because... like at what point would the wife be like, you can't have this? And you're like,
nope.
Oh.
See, yeah, that's exactly. I'm like, all right, so I got this bet going on. I need you to leave. You can't
What's
be
this?
here.
Clunk, a chastity belt.
Yeah.
I'll put it on. It's so hot.
It just doesn't. I don't know. I guess it just like this. Like if you would have said like $2 million. I would have been like, fuck yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you put like life-changing money, like 27 grand, you could do a lot with. Like that's nothing to like gawk at. But,
sure.
In a year and a half, your life hasn't changed, right?
Right.
But if it is like $2 million tax-free, you're like after a year, you're like, yeah, I didn't do anything, but now I can go and do 2 checks at the same time. All right, we're on a last call question. So these.
Okay, wait. Follow-up question. What is the amount? Like, what's the line of demarcation that you would say you could make it a year?
I'd probably say like oh man, because I keep going. I was like $1 million. I was like, well, I mean, maybe half. Well, maybe two. Well, I mean, 100 grand would be nice. Probably 100 grand. Like, I mean, for sure, if you said
I'll bare minimum 100 grand.
Bare minimum, if you said 100 grand and a brand new car, I could do that.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your bare minimum?
I'd say 250.
250.
250. Yeah. 250,000. Like don't even give me like just 250 cash. I don't even need the car.
I'd give that a go. I mean, I'd give it a go for that. And I think even with this, like once I get past a month, like now the end is like closer in sight, but just depends.
I'd have to live by myself.
It's been like a day and a half and I'm miserable. So, all right. So last call question. So where are we and what are we doing in 10 years? Have we honestly improved each other's lives?
No. That's just depressing. That's just a depressing question.
Where are we in 10 years? I think we're still doing this show. We're probably...
Joke's on you.
Oh. I would say we still improved each other's lives, though. Because you think in 10 years, how many trips we've probably at least gone on 2 or 3 more trips together.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
We're in 10 years, hopefully we're hugging again and making out.
Shh. Moving on. Next question.
Happy hour question. This I was curious because I want to know what yours is. So what dish do you slay in the kitchen every time you make it?
Corned beef and cabbage.
Ooh, yeah. You make that every St. Patrick's Day.
I make it every St. Patrick's Day, and every now and again I'll do it on New Year's Day.
We need to plan that around because I want to have your corned beef hash.
Sean, I can make that meal and it is amazing, and I can make that meal like falling down drunk, and it's amazing.
Mine would be
and I have made that meal falling down drunk.
Tiffany said this the other day. There's other things I make really well. Like I consider myself like a would be like a raccoon maybe kind of thing. Basically like I can gather a bunch of like crap in the fridge and make something really, really good. And the one thing I'm good with this is like hot sandwiches. So
okay,
I get like we have like lunch meat, right? It's just like turkey meat. Throw it on there, throw some onions, get some different kind of seasonings and salts and stuff, and like put it all on that, get it cooking. Throw your bread on there, make like a hot sandwich, like a panini kind of thing. Tiffany always loves mine. She won't be hungry. I'll make me one. She's like, hey, have one of those. And then I have to give her mine.
But yeah, there's always corned beef and cabbage I can do. Slow roasted pork. Love a slow roasted pork.
I would probably say I'm like really good on the grill too, like steaks and stuff.
I do. Oh, I mean, I'm decent on the grill. Actually, I just grilled out over this past weekend, but I mean, it gets done.
Ooh, side note about cooking. I'm kind of ashamed of this, but I did. I fried some fish, and I fried like some cod, some other white fish, and then catfish. I made hush puppies too from scratch. My hush puppies are really good. It's my grandma's recipe.
Nice.
But when I put the catfish in, the oil started bubbling over. Which we have an electric stove, so house didn't burn down. But I was really mad at myself that happened.
Did you not dry the fish?
No, I guess the catfish was still pretty wet. I dried it, like hand dried it.
Yeah.
But I think it was just I got it that day, but I was like, man, if I would have cooked
Was it frozen?
Yeah, it was frozen.
So it probably just wasn't 100% thawed.
It was soft when I put it in there, but maybe not. It may have been just a tiny bit frozen still. It was the last thing I cooked too.
Yeah.
But all right, so next question is a happy hour one as well. So we're binging tonight. Pick the show and the snack.
Ooh. Let's see. I feel like it's got to be a show that you haven't seen. So I'm going to go with...
You could do a movie set too for this, because I think mine would be a movie set.
Okay. I would do... Honestly, the one that comes to mind is I would do Watchmen.
Ooh, that would be good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we would binge Watchmen because you haven't seen it, and it's amazing. And what would we do for a snack? Oh my God, just like a gigantic fucking like thing in nachos.
Oh, that'd be good.
Like a huge, like table-sized heaping mound of nachos.
Homemade nachos too.
Yes.
Like we get there, we get the chips already.
Yes.
Make all the food, like all the meat and stuff. We get it cooked, then put it on top, put it in the oven.
You do that thing. Right? You do that thing where you just like put foil over a table, and then you just dump everything on it.
Do you when you make your nachos, do you do like a melted cheese, or do you do like shredded cheese on top? Like a fiesta mix shredded cheese.
I usually make like a queso. So I'll make pico. I'll make pico from scratch, and then I'll do like a white cheddar cheese sauce that I'll make from scratch. Then add the pico in it, and then just dump that over it.
That'd be good. We always just do like the fiesta blend and put it on top, melt it, but queso would be good. I would probably say, just because we've talked about it recently, doing a Back to the Future trilogy run.
Okay.
Like just watching all three of those.
You know, that's the other thing is that like with Watchmen, there's only like 10 episodes. I can't remember if it's 8 or 10, but that's like, you know, that's something like you could theoretically do in a night.
So they're an hour each, right? Right about. So it'd be 10 hours. So yeah, you start that at like 10 and you eat your nachos for lunch and then you come back around dinner time as you're finishing up.
Yeah.
So Back to the Future is probably about 9-10 hours. So same thing. I would do like a big thing of loaded fries.
Ooh, yeah. With like cheese and bacon and
almost like nachos except with potato fries.
Yeah. Good call.
We need to live closer together because A, would be fat and we'd be happier.
Oh my God, I'd be so fat.
Let's see.
Shawn, I'm Richard. We're big in the language of bromance.
Okay, so this is an extra dirty one.
Damn it. Here we go.
This one is just kind of, it'd be funny.
I would masturbate. Okay.
No. What's the maximum number of people you'd be interested in having sex with at once?
Let's see.
56. What?
Like, okay, so is this a number of people plus me, or is this like me? Like, let's say it's like me. Let's say hypothetically, I say me and 12 other couples.
Oh, so that'd be 20 plus you and your wife, or you're like, no,
right?
You don't get invited. So yeah, that'd be 24 people plus you would be 25 people.
Okay, so, but I'm asking, like, are they just people?
Oh,
I guess if
I'm thinking of it more as like if you said you wanted to do like have another couple, like it'd be
I would say 4
people or 4
couples? 4 people
plus you, so 5, or are you the
plus
one of the
me?
4? Yeah, I'd probably say 3
plus you, or
plus
is that
me,
including
yeah,
you?
So 4 total.
So 4 total.
Yeah, that seems like I don't really want to jump in the deep end too quick. And plus, if it's an odd number, like I'd be the guy left out. Like, hey, Winda, wait, tag me in, I'm ready. Oh, never mind, I'm done.
Would it be okay? So you say 3 plus you. Is that 3 girls, or is that a girl, guy, girl? Or you?
I mean,
you?
if you're giving me like the dream scenario, it'd be 3 girls.
Okay. See, with me, it would be probably yeah.
It'd be 4 guys and me. 5 guys total. Like, Shawn, you got to have a guy in there. That's a lot of work. I'm too old for this.
No, I think I go. Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5 would probably be my number.
All right, last call question. Do you think I'm good parent material? So I'll start with you. I think you're good parent material.
Thanks, buddy.
This is probably more for like people who don't have kids yet, but you've raised 3 great kids.
Yeah.
I've been around since 2 of them were born, I think. Or just the one.
Let's see, Richard. No, well, we weren't close when Richard was born.
Yeah, and then
so you were around for 1. Like by the time you got close, I had 2 and then a 3rd one.
Yeah. I think was I the first person you told?
Ooh, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you were telling me because it's like, hey, this happened and this happened and this happened. I'm like, well, I'm sure you'll still be okay. 3 days later, we're having another baby.
Yes, I think you're excellent parent material. You always ditch me to play with a kid, you jerk. And I hate it. We just did a podcast episode about a movie that you've constantly watched with your son.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think you're fine.
Happy hour question. Would you ever see a band in concert that you hated just to make me happy?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very pro concerts. I've gone to concerts and I went to was her name Colby Calais? What's her name?
I don't know.
She's some like kind of more, not really pop, but she's kind of a folksy, kind of like all the girls like her kind of music.
Well, like, and I'm the kind of type that like I could find something. I could pick something decent to pull out of a band, even if I didn't like them.
Well, and to me, like bands and stuff, like it's the experience. So, you know, like obviously if you're like, hey, we're going to go to this death metal band and I'm going to be in the mosh pit. I'm like, all right, cool, dude. Like I'm going to be in the back, not in the mosh pit because I don't want to get punched in the face.
Well, I guess I'm just like, and like, I feel like anybody that's, and I, of course, I don't feel, you know, this isn't 100% true, but I feel like most people that are at the point where you're paying money to go see them in concert, that obviously there's something that they do well. Otherwise they wouldn't be at that level.
I've always like whenever I've gone, so one of the concerts I went here in town was my cousin's first show. Well, it was my cousin's kids, like my second cousin, I guess, is if you're counting the numbers. It was his favorite band, Cage the Elephant, and it was his first ever concert.
Ooh.
And in going there, that's where I found Biffy Clyro, which is probably my favorite band now.
Yeah.
But going and getting to see him experience that, like, up close, like, just the joy. Like, whenever you see somebody go see their favorite thing, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. That'd be a good show.
It was pretty good. Biffy Clyro, like, blew our minds away. Because, like, the only couple songs I heard, they're a little bit more mellow. But then you see them and they freaking melt your face off. You're like, whoa. I was not expecting this music boner I have right now.
I like Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant was pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right, so happy hour question. We're starting a business. What venture should we most successful at what venture would we be most successful at as a pair?
Well, obviously not podcasting.
Well, I mean, we're going to be a 10-year overnight success. I was going to say food truck.
Ooh, yeah. Rock a food truck.
Yeah, we've talked about a couple different things. I always thought like you'd build like a horseshoe food
or
truck.
A comic book store.
Comic book store would be too bad. I think we'd be good at that too.
Like a comic book / gaming store or a barcade.
Ooh, a barcade. That we would rock a barcade.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Like get like the one we went to at Red Bank where it's all the games, play as much as you want.
Yes. Rock a barcade.
I mean, surely it can't be that much to get those because I mean, I'm guessing all those aren't original boxes. Some of them probably are,
I think I mean, I think the only issue you would have would be getting the cabinets,
which you could always. I mean, it wouldn't be the best, but if you just had somebody make a cabinet and you had an emulator on the inside of it, like it wouldn't be like ideal. Like it wouldn't be like an original cabinet, but it would still have the feel of it.
Right. I just think barcade's a great idea in general.
Yeah. I think there was a place called like Mom's Basement that was something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
What would you name our barcade?
Brocade.
Oh! It's like we finish each other's
sandwiches.
There you go. All right, on the rocks question. If you discover you'll die today, what will be your biggest regret?
That's a heavy question.
It is a heavy question. I'm not answering. I'm drinking.
What would be my biggest regret? I feel like I had a tendency to play things a little too safely. I feel like I should have taken a bit more risk in different ventures. You know, that whole thing, like, you know, don't figure out where the puck's going to be. There's times where I feel like I've done that, but I was just like, oh, that's, you know, I can't do that right now.
Yeah. I think mine would be kind of like they say that you don't want to look back and be like, oh man, if I would have just done this. But it's kind of the same thing, playing it safe. It's like, well, you take that risk, and if it fails, then you're spending, 10 years paying the debt that it cost you to, make your video game or make your comic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'd have too many regrets. I mean, obviously I wish a couple things that I've done took off and like felt successful.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know if that doesn't really that doesn't fall in the context of a regret. Like, that's just something that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Like, to me, a regret is something that, like, you wish you yourself had done differently. Not necessarily, oh, I wish, this would have gone better.
Yeah, and I guess the only regret part of that would be like trying to do it when I was younger. Like, instead of taking the approach of, hey, I'm going to go to school for a thing that, is pretty much guaranteed to be a decent enough career. Take that step to be like, I'm going to try this thing instead. But, the problem with that is, like, you get there, like, obviously, like, writing. Like, I should have wanted to do something with writing, but you get to Hollywood and it's like, you can't even compose a sentence, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Should have gone to school for that.
I did.
Forehead. Wow. And then they knock books out of your hand.
But, I mean, like, if I was to find out that I'm going to die tomorrow, I think I'd be happy with, like, at where everything's at. I mean, obviously,
I think in general I'd have to be, because otherwise I'd go mad.
Well, I mean, you got a day to go mad, so.
What would you do with that day?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would probably spend every moment with, like, Tiffany, Jacoby, my mom and dad. I feel
like, okay, so glass half full, the glass half full on that, if somebody says, hey, you're going to die tomorrow no matter what, the glass half full part of that is no matter what you do, you're not going to die today.
Well, unless what you're doing is what caused you to die.
No, Sean. No, they said tomorrow. They said tomorrow. Yeah,
you jump out of a plane. It's not tomorrow. They scream, it's tomorrow somewhere.
Fuck you, God.
All right, Richard, here's an extra dirty question.
All right.
If we were in a porn together, what category would it be filed under? Parody.
What would it be a parody of?
Dumb and Dumber.
What would it be called? What would you call it?
Come and Comer.
See, I feel like that was kind of low-hanging fruit.
Well, I mean, it's a parody.
Yeah.
But it would just be us driving cross country.
And then you'd be like, we're not having sex. And I'm like, so you're saying there's a chance?
Well, it would be us going on an adventure to get sex. And every place we get to, like, they'd either be just finishing up or we couldn't get inside, or they'd be like, oh, we'll go out and get some lube.
And we wear the fancy suits.
Yeah.
With the big top hats.
One scene we get there, we're knocking on the windows trying to get in. Let us in! Cock. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
What category would we be? I like the parody category. I would want to do.
This is where if we were drinking, you'd be like, "Bye, curious." Wait, what?
Ooh, what would it be a parody of? Ooh, what about supernatural parody? And all we do is just like sleep with the monsters.
That's how we defeat them.
Yeah.
And then we got the big bad. Oh, that would be good. That'd be a lot of fun.
Who would
I think of the story about that. Like the end, you got to fight a demon and you got to like bang her. You got to bang the hell out of her.
Yeah. Like the triple exorcist.
Yeah. Good movie. All right. Last call question.
All right.
Have you ever
These are the ones that are supposed to start fights.
Yeah. Have you ever considered ending our relationship? If so, why?
Have I ever considered ending it?
Yeah.
No.
As I say, there's never been a time where I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never had a moment where I've been like, I've never even had a moment where I'm like, I'm just going to not talk to him for 3 days.
Yeah. I've never had that either. Like,
I mean, there's times where we don't talk for days, but that's just, like, you're living your life, I'm living my life. There's times where I feel genuinely bad because there's times where I'll see that you'll text me and then I don't answer for like a day or two.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's the next question.
Fuck.
Why don't you answer my text?
100. Okay, so full disclosure, 100%. Shawn will text me and I don't answer till like the next day, and it usually what happens is I'll be at work or something and I'll see it and I'm like, oh, I got to remember to answer him back. And then I completely forget about it. and then the next day somebody else will text me, and then I'll go to it, and then I'll see his, and I'm like, oh fuck, I never got back to him. But to be fair, I do that to everyone. I do that to my wife. I do that to my kids. They're all like, why don't you ever fucking text me back? I'm like, I mean to, and then I don't.
Well, I gotta text Shawn back first. I don't remember when it was, but you had some phone issues at one point. And I think after that, whenever I text you, like, I'm like, I probably won't get a text or response back for a couple of days, like a day or so. And that's fine. If it's something urgent, I'll call.
Yeah.
Or if it's something where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need an answer, then I'll Facebook you too. Like, that's the last resort.
Yeah.
But no, I've never thought about anything with that either. I think because like we've had a couple, like I've probably could count on the number of hands we've had what would be considered like a heated discussion.
I honestly can't. I can't think of.
I mean, they'd be more like just discussions on things that don't pertain to. I mean, it's the stuff you don't talk about, politics and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But it's never like, I don't think we leave like, oh my God, he's fucking stupid. It's just like,
okay. Yeah, I do that when I hang up.
Yeah.
I'll take the earbuds out and I'm like, can you believe this fucking guy?
Yeah, I talked to Tiffany. I'm like, you know what? We had a great conversation. We both respect each other really well. And I'm glad it turned out the way he did. I mean.
And then I take my earbuds out and I'm like, can you believe this fucking guy? This motherfucker right here. You know what? I'm not going to answer his text for 3
days. Show him.
Yeah. That'll
Next
teach
question. What's the pettiest thing you've ever done to a friend? No, that was one of the questions. I skipped that one, though. Let's see. This is a happy hour question.
Okay.
What discontinued item would you give anything to bring back? This would be like, this isn't mine, but it'd be like Surge. Like Surge went away, but then came back.
Oh, you mean discontinued?
Yeah, discontinued.
Okay. What discontinue? What thing is gone forever that I would want to come back? Okay, so there was a board game that I played when I was a kid, and the board game was called Hero Quest, and you can find them on eBay, but they're super expensive on eBay. I found one on eBay, and the cheapest one I could find on eBay, and this one was like a little beat up, and it was like $150. I would want somebody to bring that back, but it was done by Milton Bradley. It was a Milton Bradley game, and it was basically like it was like a D&D for dummies kind of game, it's like a D&D game you could play with 8-year-olds.
Okay. Well, I know when we did our game draft, I think that was up there on your picks.
Oh, it probably was. I loved that. I loved that game. And you could make your own adventures in it and everything. Oh, nice.
You said it was like D&D light.
Yeah, it was basically, so you had a board, and the board had, was like basically looked like a dungeon. And it was all separated like a grid and everything. And it like the board had rooms there, but then you had like furniture pieces and doors and monsters and stuff like that. And they were all miniatures because the game was done by Games Workshop, who also does Warhammer,
okay.
So,
you think like where they are now, they'd be able to make some kick-ass miniatures for it.
Oh my God. These things were super cool. They had a bunch of miniatures and stuff like that. And so, basically one person was the quest master. And so they had a map of where to put the doors and everything like that. And then you could have up to 4 other players be heroes. And they picked their hero, and then they went through the dungeon. They rolled dice to move. They rolled dice to attack. They were all 6-sided dice. But then the quest master would say, okay, you're looking down this hallway. You see a door here and a door here. And they go, okay, well, I'm going to open this door. Okay, there's a bookcase here, and there's a monster here and a monster here. And there were traps and treasure and all this other shit. And it was awesome.
It'd be a good way to get like kids involved in it. You think?
100%, 150%.
That'd be cool. Yeah, because You look at games today, it takes almost a mini master's degree to figure everything out.
Yeah.
If you don't have the software, I don't know how people do it by hand. I don't know how you guys did it by hand back in the day.
You had tables and stuff like that. But at the end of this quest book that had all the quests you could do in it, at the end, it was just a blank map. And it was like, hey, just draw up your own map.
Oh, cool. That like kids with their creativity and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you come up with some cool stuff.
Oh my God. Me and I had a couple friends and we came up with all sorts of quests. We came up with a way to get an extra player involved.
Oh, cool.
So we came up with like another hero character and it balanced well and added new monsters and it was awesome.
Mine isn't as cool. It would just be Livewire Mountain Dew, which is like their orange flavored Mountain Dew. I haven't seen that in forever.
Okay. I stopped drinking Mountain Dew ages ago, so
I'm still on it. That's the one thing if I could kick. Like if you said bad habits to kick, that would be it. Soda in general, not just Mountain Dew.
No, yeah. I mean, I say I've stopped drinking Mountain Dew. I switched to Pepsi, but
on the rocks question. So
wait, before hang on. Before I go any further, am I really bad when it comes to answering texts on the phone? 100%.
We have confirmation.
See, it's not just you. That's all I'm saying.
She's been standing over there for the last 20 minutes, hasn't she? You've been
just
I've been
nodding her head.
Move. All right, babe, read this. All right, on the rocks question. If we were to meet for the first time today, would we become friends? I think it depends on the setting.
Yeah, I mean, like if we're just walking past each other on the street, then probably not because we have no reason to talk to each other. But let's say hypothetically, let's say, I go to a gaming session and you're there and chit chat happens. So let's say we meet tomorrow at a gaming session and we just start talking. And do you think we get from there to here?
It'd be slower, I think. I think like a game day we would. If you're talking like where we are in our professional careers, I think it'd be a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Because I think when you get to the point where we are like with a professional like career, like there's not really too many people like that I worked with for the last 10 years. I'm like, oh yeah, we're like friends and we talk outside of work. But there's something different when you work at like a restaurant. Because it wasn't just us working in the restaurant. It was like, we're closing down the shop. It's like, well, I mean, we got like 2 hours to kill. Do you just want to watch a movie?
Yeah.
And like, that's really, I think, what created our friendship on top of the gaming and stuff.
Yeah.
So I do think it definitely depends on the situation where we meet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like if we were working in a restaurant, then yes, very much so. Because, and that's just, and like you said, I think that just has to deal with the setting of it. Like, I mean, there's like a lot of the people that I worked with in kitchens over the course of 20 years, like I got super close with.
Mm-hmm. Do you think our relationship would supersede? Because the way I think of it, like even now, when I meet somebody, they're like, oh, they're cool. Like I could see like wanting to hang out with them. Even then, I'm still kind of like, I mean, like. It's a lot of work to have like a close friend.
Oh, well, I think that just has to do with being an adult.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, if we met, do you think we're kind of at that point where we'd be like, oh, we'd be close acquaintances and maybe 5 or 6 years we'd end up where we kind of are today? Or do you think?
I think it would take less time or it would take more time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unless it was some kind of situation where we are spending an exorbitant amount of time outside of some kind of work or like we're forced to be together somehow.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I mean? Like essentially kind of like what we were at the restaurant. Extra dirty question. Describe your sex life with a song title. Here I go again on my
own. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by Michael Jackson.
Let's see. Happy.
What about time? Don't stop till you get enough, girl.
Oh, this is a good one. Happy hour question. So you get to travel back in time to warn me about one thing. What would it be?
I would tell you that we need to start podcasting earlier.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd do. I would go back to, for you,
like 2003 and be like, look, you're going to tell him we need to start a podcast and he's going to brush you off. Like, stay on him. Like, start it as soon as possible. You want to start it circa like 2005.
Yeah, if we could start earlier. Because I think it was 2007 when I brought this up to you. Because 2004, 2005, I'd be like, what's a podcast? You'd be like, God damn it. But
I went back too far.
It would have been like March or April of 2007, because that's when SmodCast started, when I brought up, like, we should do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, my girlfriend said it'd be a stupid idea. And you're like, yeah, it would be, no one would listen. But yeah, I would say start early. I still, like, could you imagine, like, I don't know if they'd be good or not.
That
like,
would also be on the regret category, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, I mean, that's kind of, we started it. So, I mean, yeah, you could be like, well, I wish we started earlier. But
yeah,
at least we're not to the point where we're like, man, we really should have started what we talked about. I mean, if you consider that, like, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a crazy thing to think about. Like, there's only one other show I know of that has been going pretty much weekly, and they're almost at 400 episodes. The Bearded Ones podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy to think, like, 6 years, how much we've done with this.
That's nuts.
Let's see. Happy hour question. What do you secretly think I'd be amazing at?
Walk-off home runs.
Yeah, I would be pretty good at that.
Yeah, you would.
What would you be good at? I think you'd be good at kind of like the, what's his name? The Nerdist guy.
Hardwick?
Yeah, be doing like the post-show TV shows.
Oh.
It's like how he hosts like the Talking Dead. I think you'd be really good at that.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, what show would I do? Or would it just be in general?
I think you could do like the in general one for him. Like if you could do like the Watchmen one, I think you were pretty obsessed with that. You'd be good at it. Maybe some of the CW ones. I don't think you watch them too close, but if you were forced to, like, I think you could bring out a lot of the DC and all that kind of stuff out of it.
I think you would be good at sports casting. Because and here's why I say that is that I'm not super into sports, but you explain it to me and you can get me excited about it. And I'm, a very much non-fan. I have a very tertiary, and not just baseball, but like wrestling or, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when I was doing those after shows with Rima. Like, I'm okay at that. So if I was able to do kind of like a post-game kind of thing, just chit-chatting about it, not getting too much in the weeds.
Or just talking with people like that in general. I think that I guess I'm saying that I think you could do a show about sports and get people excited about it.
Oh, thanks. On the rocks question, you and I are dating. What's going to break us up? Not having sex.
Enough. Or at all.
What would cause us to break up?
One of us would meet a woman.
Probably. That's a good point. Let's see, that one's kind of dumb. Extra dirty. Describe your present state of your pubic hair.
I don't trim mine.
You go full bush.
Yeah.
I do some like manscaping on it. So it's kind of like when you mow the lawn. I try to keep it down to a certain. Like,
so you trim the hedge, but you don't scorch the earth.
Yeah. Because every now and then, like sometimes I'll get too close and it's basically like gone, and it looks weird.
Every time I do anything with mine, then it just doesn't it just looks stupid.
Yeah, guys. Well, and it depends on how hairy you are too. Because if you just trim around it, it looks like a forest and all of a sudden a desert.
Yeah. And I'm not a particularly hairy person. Like I'm not,
Yeah, and I've got like a little bit of hair on my belly.
Like I'm almost I'm now a 38, and I don't have like hair on my back or anything like that.
Just my lower back. The only place I have no chest hair.
I have a little bit, like the tiniest bit. You don't have any because you shave it.
What? My back hair or my chest hair?
No, chest hair.
No, I don't shave my chest. I've never had chest hair in my life.
Really?
Never. Nope.
Huh.
My dad's got a pretty hairy chest, and I always said it was because it's stupid, but like in the 70s and 80s, people didn't wear undershirts. They just let their hair flow.
Yeah.
I always have wore a t-shirt, like an undershirt, and I always said that's the reason I didn't have chest hair.
You know what? That makes perfect sense.
It does. It's probably not scientifically accurate, but
nope, totally is. Let's go with that.
On the rocks question, If I were a chain restaurant, which one would I be and why?
God, I hate chain restaurants. Which one would you be?
This is a tough one. Because I feel like this, you could almost be offensive without meaning to be offensive.
Yeah, I don't know. See, it's because I wouldn't want you to be a chain restaurant because they're all it's all the same and it's all bland.
I think I would. So, just because I love it, I would say you'd be like a Zaxby's.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a really good small chicken chain, like chicken. Basically, chicken's their thing.
Okay.
And they've got really great like sides. They've got really great chicken tenders and chicken sandwiches and salads. They got a good variety of stuff. They put a lot of effort into it.
Okay.
At a good price. They don't try to act like they're not like a Ruby Tuesdays kind of thing where it's like, oh, we're fancier than what we are. It's like, no, this is a really good fast food restaurant. We're a fast food restaurant, but you have a good feel of quality.
Yeah. Okay, so I have
Shawn, you'd be Taco Bell.
No, I have two I can think of for you. One would be In-N-Out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because it's on the surface it's a very simple like just hey you can get yourself a decent burger and fries and a milkshake, but if you dig a little deeper, there's a whole secret menu.
That's good.
If you just drill a little deeper, there's a whole secret menu with a bunch of different options that makes the simple good quality even better because there's secrets behind it.
That's well answered. That was really good.
You're welcome.
What was the other one?
The other one I could think of was Dave and Buster's.
Okay, yeah.
Because there's a lot to do.
Yeah, it's kind of fun and
it's not Chuck E. Cheese.
All right. No, that's a stupid question. We'll skip that one. I've only got a few left.
Okay.
Oh, here's a good one. Last call. If I was in a relationship with someone you hated, would you tell me?
Yes.
I would definitely tell you as well.
I think I have, haven't I?
Trying to think if you.
In broad sense, and I think I have in broad strokes. I never specifically came out and said, "Hey, could you not?"
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you knew it was as bad as it was.
No, I didn't. But
because I think when I told you I was going to propose, you're like, I vaguely remember you being like, "Are you sure?" Like not like in a sense.
For the
of
record,
like,
we're not talking about Tiffany.
No.
Well,
Tiffany
no, I just want to make sure she knows that. This is not you.
You are not answering his text for 6 days. No, I do remember when I ended up telling you, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I think you were like, really? Just in a sense of, I don't know if you didn't think it was, again, that bad or not.
No, I didn't. I did not know. But I will say, but I think I kind of like skirted around it. I didn't overtly come out and be like, I don't know, dude. I don't know about this. But I think I might have in broad strokes been like, really? You sure?
And that's a tough thing to do too, especially when I was that young.
Well, and especially like, I don't, and also consider the fact that like at that point, like we weren't near as close as we were now.
For sure. Yeah.
So
we were close, but yeah, definitely not as close as we are now. And even now too, if I'm like, Richard, I hate your wife, you're like, well, sorry.
Yeah. Been with her longer than you, bud.
But for the record, I love your wife. So
thanks. I like yours too. This is the good one. I want to make that clear. This isn't. I was not talking about.
Well, and when her and I were together and stuff, that's kind of when our relationship was kind of getting more separated too. Our time talking was getting a little bit more spread out.
Yeah.
It was actually her who, when I told her I was going to do a podcast, was, and your wife too, I think you said we're like 100% behind it.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like, well, why do you guys want to do that? I was like, well, because I feel like I'm losing my best friend.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then you need to do that.
Yeah.
Happy hour question. What movie or TV quote hits a little too close to home?
I'm trying to think. Are they asking like what makes me cry?
I think
like,
so.
Pick a Pixar movie. Just throw a dart. Like put all the Pixar movies on a board and just throw a dart. And I'm sure you'll come up with something. Fucking Finding Dory, the beginning of Finding Dory. There's a couple parts in Finding Nemo. There's Bing Bong and Inside Out where they're trying to get where Bing Bong like fades away.
Yeah, I just watched the first 35 minutes too, because I think my kid and like the kids that were watching with us were like, man, this is kind of heavy. But yeah, it was like core memory, like kids growing up and like
and see, now he's getting sniffly.
The one for me was Serenity's Out of Gas. When Inara's talking to Mal, she says, "You don't have to die alone," and he says, "Everybody dies alone."
Ugh.
But it's got
know, but do you gotta say it?
Yeah, but it's got a good come around because as he's about ready to die, he comes to because they come back.
Yeah,
and they're patching him up, and he's got some medicine. He's about to fall asleep, and he kind of like comes back to. He's like, "Y'all gonna be here when I wake up, right?"
Aww.
That one always kind of gets me because that's a sad episode.
Out of all the episodes of Serenity, that's the one you talk about the most.
Yeah, it's one whenever I'm like, I feel really depressed. I'm gonna watch Out of Gas
and just cinch it right here.
Here's the toaster. On the Rocks, I've got 3 left.
Oh, you got 3 left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the Rocks, if someone offered you $10,000 to never talk to me again, would you?
No.
Yeah, definitely no on that. If I'm not gonna do 27,000 not to do dirtiness for a year, then definitely not that.
Yeah.
But to bring it up, what would be the number?
Ooh. Like, could I tell you why?
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, to be fair.
Like you get like one last email, be like, listen, somebody just paid me $2 million. So new phone, who dis?
Yeah, I think anything that would be considered like life-changing, I couldn't feel bad. If somebody's like, Richard, I hate your podcast so much. It's like, well, you don't have to subscribe and download. I just can't. It's an addiction. I'm going to give you $10 million never to talk to Shawn again.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't fault you for that.
Yeah.
I'd probably say it'd have to be $1 million or $2 million. Like it'd have to be a significant amount, like $500,000.
I'd have to wait. Here's what would happen. Okay. Is they would say 10 million and I go, okay. And I'd send you the email and then I get the money. And then I would probably piss all the money away doing way too stupid things with it. And then once all the money's gone, which would probably happen in, let's say, 6 to 8 months, like I blow it all on fucking hookers and cocaine and, like a yacht. And so once all of that's gone in 6 to 8 months, then we start talking again. Cause I'm like, hey, I spent all the money.
Can I talk to my friend now? All right. Extra dirty. What will be the sexy nickname they give you when you live at the old folks' home?
Ooh. Big Dick.
Oh, because you're Richard.
Yeah. Or I'm an asshole. I don't know.
What would mine be? I don't know. I can't think of anything good off the top of my head. Southtown Shawn.
Why Southtown?
Because I go down south.
Because you go down south. And that's where you live.
Ooh, but it'd be Southside Shawn because I like the White Sox and they're on the south side. So like people would come in like, oh, we call him Southside Shawn. It's because he likes the White Sox.
Yeah.
Grandma's like, yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's where all the asses wait.
All right, last call question. This is kind of a sad one.
This is truly last call.
If I died tomorrow, what regrets would you have about our relationship?
That I didn't answer my text fast enough.
I think mine would be just I would regret maybe not. I think but ensuring that you do know how important you are to me in my life and my family. I would probably have to say that.
Stop it. I came up with a joke bullshit answer and you gotta come in all serious.
We shouldn't have been drinking so much. Shawn, we have been drinking. Oh, wait.
God damn it.
But yeah, I think but I think there's always that fear, that somebody doesn't know how important they are to you, but that would be mine.
That's great. Well, now I feel like a genuine ass. Closing thought is, I think Shawn's the greatest person in the world, and I just wish that he knew how much I want to hold him.
Sorry, you cut out there. What was that?
Nothing.
All right. Well, let me do a little housekeeping as our truth or drink is finishing up. If you like this game, you can get it on Amazon. We're not making any money off of it, but it's supposed to be kind of a fun drinking game. We tried to play it with some friends, and it didn't
Did it not go well?
Well, we didn't really.
We're not speaking terms anymore.
People kind of started looking at the questions, and I think you just kind of have to jump into it. Because if you start picking through the questions, they get kind of like you're going to ask an awkward question at some point.
Yeah,
and so you just kind of have to jump in and do it. But it's on Amazon, called Truth or Drink, and I had fun with it. I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But let me do a little bit of housekeeping. You can visit our website at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. You can like us on Facebook, and there's a couple ways to support the show. You can always spread the bromance by liking, retweeting, and sharing our show on Reddit. And you can also pick up some of that sweet, sweet LOB merchandise at the T Public Store.
Do it. All of those things. Get the shirts and the merch, and then you can send us pictures of you and the shirts.
We haven't been getting enough of those lately. I want to see you in our new logo.
Yeah.
Even if you just get a sticker or something, show us where you put it.
Oh, I like it.
Unless it's your butt. I mean, if you put it on your butt, I guess we'd still look.
I would too. I would 100% look.
And then if you want to take that bigger step, you're like, I don't want to show you a sticker on the bum, but you can join our Patreon account. Just go to patreon.com/languageofbromance. It helps pay for this show and keep it ad-free. And we also like to shout out our wonderful listeners, Wendy, Aaron, and Shane.
I would answer all of your texts way faster than Shawn.
I would love to play Truth or Drink with each one of you.
There you go.
All right. Is there anything else before I close her out?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that's all the bros have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why.
Be a why not. Yeah.
Truth or drink.
Or drink.
Why not?
New phone. Who dis?